Clearly, you guys know that. You're over on our Facebook page. I am so happy for those that are chiming in tonight to learn all things Scott Flanagan. But also, obviously, it will be here for the repeat, and Steve will do his magic and make sure that you guys get it in the next newsletter. But Scott Flanagan, welcome
Yeah,
to Serendipitous.
excited to be here with you.
So, real quick, Scott, just tell everybody who you are, where you're at, your company name, and then we're going to dive into all things Scott.
Okay. I'm Scott Flanagan. I'm the mastermind behind Fourth and Main Designs. This is my baby. I'm from Fremont, Nebraska. So if you know where Omaha is, I'm just a little bit northwest of Omaha, Nebraska. Take a dart, throw it at the map, and about dead center's Fremont. I
Where you
love
get
River
lots
Creek.
of snow.
You know what? We don't get as much snow as you'd expect. And it's kind of sad because I love snow. There's no such thing as too much.
Ah, according to your pictures that you were posting when you were headed to Road to California,
Yep.
I would beg to differ. That was a lot of snow. I couldn't see the front door of your home. It looked like the snow had drifted
Yeah.
in.
We got we have not had a major storm in a couple of years. And the day before I was to leave, we got a massive winter storm. On Monday, it was supposed to be 1 to 2 inches. And by Thursday night, it was 10 to 12 with blowing.
Oh my gosh.
And Saturday, I was supposed to leave. And I'm like, okay, can I leave Saturday? Can I leave Saturday? I came upstairs from the basement and the sun was just kind of peeking through the clouds. I'm like, that's it, we're going. So I left in whiteout conditions from my house.
Yeah, don't even know. I think I was more intrigued about the journey with the snow than when you were posting at the show because I was just like, raised in the mountains of Virginia, we got quite a bit of snow
Yeah.
and stuff, but I've been in the Carolinas for like 18, 19 years. So I don't get to see all of that snow. And you was making me
Come
miss
visit
it
me.
just a little bit. Just a little.
Come visit me. We'll get some snow.
Yeah, well, okay, so let's talk about visiting. Guys, I promise you we're going to get into all the things Scott, but last week, actually before I say this, Scott, what is your Facebook? Can they go to is it Fourth and
Fourth
Main
and
Design?
fourth, I mean, the number four TH A&D main designs.
Perfect, perfect. So if you guys get a chance, hop over to Scott's Facebook tonight or tomorrow. Watch a live video that he did. It was about this
Last
time
Friday.
last Friday. Okay, I was
That's
gonna
right.
say about a week ago. He gave a little tour of his home and his sewing studio. So when you say come visit, I'm all about that sewing studio.
I
That
have
is
room.
absolutely fabulous.
I've got room for 8 people to sew besides me.
8 people. Well, I don't know. You put two or three sewers in a space and all their junk fans out to like 8 people.
True.
So you know how that rolls. Me and you and Nancy, I think we could fill the room for sure. Steve just posted saying that Nancy and Rona is watching us,
Hey,
Scott, saying
wonderful.
hello to us.
Hey,
We miss our girls. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and plug for Quilt Babble Live next Tuesday night. It is going to be on an introduction to EQ8, and Scott's going to make his debut as one of
that's
our expert panelists, right?
right. I'll be joining you
And
from Colorado. I'm driving to Colorado that morning.
oh,
So I'll be joining from my
okay.
parents' house.
Oh, there you go. Maybe we can put mom and dad on. They're fabulous. I met them at Houston. They are so sweet.
They are.
Um, but anyway, so next Tuesday, Scott's gonna make his debut on Quote Babble as one of our EQ8 specialists, and Nancy McNally, she's been on Quote Babble numerous times. She's gonna be one of our panelists, expert for EQ8. And then of course, you guys know Rona is an expert in EQ8. So we've got three experts, and then next Tuesday, it's going to be kind of fun. Steve is going to be on the panel as the newbie that wants to learn how to design quilts. And so he's going to be that voice for everybody out there that is new to EQ8. So it should be really, really fun. But Scott, tonight here at Serendipitous, it's all about you. So real quick, let's talk about your new fabric collection. And
Yes,
it is called, and I think this is going to be backwards, but it is called Quilting is My Voice.
correct.
Before we get into all that lovely fabric behind you, tell everybody how you came up with the name of this collection.
So the fabric collection is called Quilting is My Voice. In 2017, I woke up. We had a big event at the store where I worked, 5-day cold retreat with 100 people. Woke up Sunday morning and thought I had really bad laryngitis. Turns out I had developed a neurological voice disorder called spasmodic dysphonia. And it's through quilting and the quilt community that I was able to get through that and have it do it with humor and grace. For the most
Wow.
part, there were some bad days. And so now every 3 months, I go and get Botox injections into my vocal cords
Mm.
to allow me to talk this well. It is not a fun process, but I have the smoothest, most perfect vocal cords in the industry because there's not a wrinkle in them.
Wow.
And that's where the name came from. So I'm using 10% of my royalties for this collection will go back to fund research into treatment and cures.
And I didn't realize that until a day or two ago. Steve was doing some marketing pieces on this collection because we're so excited to get it into So
Yes, the
Serendipitous. And he
cord.
was like, yeah, he was like, did you know that a portion of this is going to medical research for this? And I was like, no, that makes it even more fabulous. To see something so yummy as quilts that is, stitched with love, but to know that some of the proceeds of the fabric is going to go to that. That is absolutely fabulous. I really appreciate you doing that. As an RN in the medical field, I love when people give back to medical research.
It's an important thing, especially when only about 50,000 people in the US have this disorder. One
Wow.
being Robert Kennedy, that's in the political race.
Mm, yeah, it's crazy. And you said that your uncle had, isn't that what you said? Your uncle has it?
No, just me.
Oh, just you. I was thinking there was somebody else in your family that had it.
No, this is not hereditary, but it is in the Parkinson's family.
Oh, okay. I'm with you. I'm with you. Steve says you are getting lots of hearts flying on Facebook
Yeah,
right
wonderful.
now. And rightfully so. So this collection, like we said, is called Quilting is My Voice. It is Banyan Batiks. And I don't know about you guys out there watching, but I absolutely love batiks. And Scott's
They're
got
my
this
passion.
they are his passion, he said. He's got this lovely array back there. Talk about how you chose your colors and all things.
So the collection, the motifs, the actual design elements. Let me grab a piece here. So like the design, the motif elements that you're seeing in the prints,
Mm-hmm.
those were inspired off mid-century modern. The house I live in was built in 1958, has a lot of mid-century modern character to it. I love that era of homes, but I also really love Frank Lloyd Wright, that arts and crafts harvest, that the oranges, that rusty orange,
Yes.
sage green, slate blue. And so I wanted to combine the two into the collection, into the colors and motifs, and it worked into a beautiful grouping of fabrics.
It's absolutely yummy on all accounts for sure. Um, I was getting
And
ready
you
to
can,
say, yes, look at that. Some yummy purples in that. Pull that
there's not a
reddish
purple print in the collection, but there's some purple
hues.
hues here and there.
Pull that real pretty one right in the middle, that red spunky one. Yeah, that rustic orange.
It's got a rusty orange with a little bit of a dusty gold.
I absolutely love it. That print, which when you was picking up the looked like fat quarters that was in front of you or half yard cuts, you showed that print and it's like a light background with all the multiple
Yep.
colors. That is probably my favorite one in this collection.
Yeah, that just that piece of that one and the same one in slate blue.
Yes. Yes, so versatile. Absolutely love it. So, Scott, I know that there was a few patterns that you designed specially to go with this collection. We have a couple of them that we're going to have in our store for purchase. Um, and I didn't bring my copies, but Scott has his. So,
So one of them you got was Changes in Seasons too.
mm-hmm. A 60
Um,
by 86, I think that said.
yeah, and I just did a table runner from the pattern.
Look at that. That fabric. Steve, I know you're not on video or voice, but definitely chime in because I know these colors are right up your alley. I
Yeah,
love this.
yeah, I absolutely love it. But I just want to let you guys know it is raining hearts over here on Facebook. Um, you've got about 60 folks watching at the moment, and they are just pounding that love button.
Wonderful.
So I want you to know that.
Well, it is fabulous. Scott, I love that you did that little table runner sample for the quilt. So, yeah, show it on the quilt so they understand. Yes.
So I just took and did the top row and a set of blocks on either side. The table runner map is not in the pattern. I just worked off what was here.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you did that because I noticed you had mentioned that on your video that you did last week. So I'm infamous for taking a quilt pattern and then I will scale down either some pillows out of it or a table runner. So show that table runner one more time, even though it's not in the pattern, just so they can get a feel. Yeah, how they can make that their own right out of the quilt. And then also talk about you mentioned it the other day on that I want to call it mountain, but I guess they're like flying geese where it has two different fabrics. Yes, I love how you designed that.
And that's based off my logo, the flying geese on my logo.
Oh, I never even made the connection. Love it.
So the name of the quilt is called Changes in Seasons. Two, because I have Changes in Seasons one. I love making flying geese. It's one of my favorite blocks to make.
Uh-huh.
And when I was going through the whole voice disorder thing, I'm like, geese use their voice to signal changes in seasons, much like my voice signaled a change in my season of my life. And now every 3 months, it's a different voice. So that's how Changes in Seasons got its name.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, what's the second pattern?
The second one you ordered is Please Repeat. So here's the full quilt. I pieced this yesterday.
Oh my gosh, look how those colors changes. I absolutely love that.
Can you see most of it?
Yes, yeah, no, absolutely.
So
It looks
this uses the jelly roll, which
okay.
which is unique. It's only a 20 strip jelly roll. It's not a 40 strip.
Okay, and how many will they use for that quilt?
One,
Oh, even better, even better. Great price point.
correct. Because this is like what, 20 some dollars?
Yes, yes. And then some backing fabric.
Correct. But if you don't want to do the big quilt, you can make it into 3 runners.
Oh, nice. Or even like a wall hanging.
Yeah. So here it is with the cream back with the white background.
Yes.
Here it is with your favorite.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. Nice. Scott, hold that up close again to the camera and slowly pan those fabrics because believe it or not, we can see those fabrics really good there. I love it. I didn't realize some of those greens in there. I'm really liking that too, like a forest green almost.
Kind of a forest green and a sage, like you got a really nice sagey
Yeah,
right there.
nice. I love it. And so, how did that pattern get its name?
So when my voice craps out every 3 months, it becomes very, very strangled and very, very choppy. I cannot say a single word. It comes out as 2 to 3 different words as I'm trying to say one word. So
Wow.
that's why I wanted the broken Bargello was so it wasn't a simple Bargello. It was broken. And I have to repeat myself constantly because I can't say a word. or I can't even say a phrase.
I love it.
So all the quilts, when you get your pattern and you open it up, there is a whole long story about the voice disorder and about that specific pattern.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, back at Houston, when you were telling me about quilting is my voice and the fabric that was coming out and the story behind it, I was just like, what an amazing story. Absolutely love it because our tagline at Serendipitous is unexpected happiness in every stitch. And tell everybody how long you've been in the quilting world.
So well, I've been sewing since I was 7. I've been actively in the quilting world with magazines since 2014.
Yeah, exactly. I just think it is amazing that in the middle of this, you did. I mean, quilting is what, I'm sure is very therapeutic for you.
It was, and when this all started, I thought I was going to quit my job at the quilt store because I'm like, how do I teach owners classes? How do I teach block the month? And my coworkers, the owners of the store, my customers were like, show up, we'll figure it out. In the early days, I remember teaching 6-hour owners classes with a whiteboard, writing my lecture
Wow.
for 6 hours because I couldn't speak.
Well, that's when we can pick on you because you can't back talk, right?
Correct. Exactly.
I'm just kidding. Guys, if you are in love with this collection as much as I am, you can go to www.sewendipitous.com. Steve has got this collection up there ready for you to purchase. And Scott, we are in love with this collection. I think I heard you say that it was extremely popular at Northcott, the
Correct.
reps
So
when they were initially out selling.
it was the best seller for that release. So this released last April, I think is
Yeah,
when it went out. I think that's when Shop saw it was last April.
I think so.
And it was their number one seller for that quarter.
Yeah, that's amazing because I get questioned all the time in the shop, how do you choose the fabrics? How do you choose the fabrics?
It's tough. It's very tough.
Isn't it? Because I tell them, I'm like, listen, y'all don't realize how many collections is out there. Because sometimes quilters get pigeonholed in with, and I'm going to use it as an example because everybody knows it, but they'll get pigeonholed into Moda, right?
Yeah.
And they know that, okay, maybe every quarter Moda has, I don't know, 15 to 20 collections. I'm making up numbers. I don't even know how many. And they get pigeonholed and they think, okay, that might be it. And, oh, I know about Free Spirit or something. But they don't realize, like,
You probably see what, probably 10 different fabric companies every quarter.
easily. Yeah,
And each fabric company probably has 20 to 30, well, probably 10 to 20
yeah,
collections per company. And some companies have, like Northcott has 3 divisions. So
exactly.
you're seeing 40, 50 collections just from one
Rep.
rep.
Well, and two, sometimes the reps, if they're kind of independent, they are carrying multiple companies.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah, to know that yours, this collection, Quilting is My Voice, was a number one seller, that is amazing because there's so many options, and that just shows you that you really were on to something with this collection. Once again, guys, it is boutiques. It's called Quilting is My Voice. You can find it at your local quilt shop
It is
or
shipping. It is shipping right now.
yeah. And like I said, you can find it with us at www.sewendipitous.com. Scott just showed those 2 patterns. And Scott, if I remember, there is a 3rd pattern which Sewendipitous is not carrying at the moment,
Well,
but you can get it at other quilt shops.
so
What's the
there's
name of
another
it?
Jelly Roll project called Many Voices. That one I've not yet made a sample of.
Yeah. And I think we know how it got its name.
Yep. And then there is the sampler.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about this one. This one's
So,
gorgeous.
and I don't know if I can get this in the picture, but
Yeah, it's huge.
it's almost 100 inches square.
Wow. Just look at that one. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't matter what pattern this fabric collection goes with, Scott. It's
No.
yummy. It is so yummy.
So if you remember at Market, you ordered a bunch of my patterns.
Yes, yes. We're getting ready to talk about
Do you
those.
remember seeing the fall? Do you remember seeing the birds of a feather
Yes.
out of that collection?
Yeah, that's what got me on board. I was like, oh my gosh, how do I not have this fabric in my life? It doesn't matter what the pattern is. Absolutely. Steve posted, said everybody was wanting to know the release date on the collection. And that might be why Scott said it a while ago. It is released now. Like I said, it's been shipping. The only pre-cuts is the 2.5, correct?
Mhm.
Scott, that's what I was
Correct.
thinking.
If
The
they
two
want
and a
fat
half inch.
quarters, you have to cut them for them.
Oh yeah, we have fat quarter bundles for sure. But in regards to there is no 10-inch or 5-inch pre-cuts, guys. But remember, if you are ordering the 2.5-inch with the fabric strip sets, like Scott said, remember there's only 20 in this. So if you are purchasing this for a different pattern than what Scott was showing just then, and your pattern's calling for 40, that's right. Make sure you grab two.
Oh, I don't know what just happened. Balloons just went past my screen.
Did you do
No,
that? That was the cyber world celebrating your collection.
that was weird.
That was fun. So yeah, let's talk about some of the patterns that we have in the shop that I grabbed from
Yeah,
you at Market. Which one would you like to start with, or does it matter?
doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the one that initially grabbed my eye, and it's called Churning 9 Patch.
Yep.
It is a 62 by 74. Look at the show and tell. Okay, that's funny. So look at the picture on the pattern. It is in the darker hues, and now you've got it in this fun fabric. And that looks like batiks also, is it?
Correct. My first fabric collection. This was Quilter's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's right. Okay, I forgot about that collection.
Do you
Yes.
want to see the dark version?
If you got it, we no quilter's gonna turn down a trunk show, Scott. Come on. Oh,
Well,
he's making us on the move.
here's all my quilts.
I love it. Wow. Wow. We're gonna destroy his room tonight, guys. He's digging out quilts for us.
So you have the real bright version.
Uh-huh.
And then here is the same thing done in reproductions.
I love it. And that's the one that's on the quilt cover, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So when I seen this at Quilt Market, churn dash and a 9 patch, like you said, is so traditional. So I grabbed this because I love some 1800 Civil War reproduction fabric. And I was like, this has to come to the store for my ladies that love that, because I can see this quilt. There's such a glare. Actually, let me take it out of the pack. Hold on. Um, There you go, guys. You can see it a little more up close there. And I absolutely loved it because it is fat quarter friendly. So people can pull out their stash for this
Almost
pattern.
definitely.
Uh, just a great, great pattern. And this is another one that I could see taking that block and then doing some fabric and then another block and making a table runner, just like
Yep.
end capping it with that block. And then it also has, isn't it called piano key border?
Yep. Piano key.
Yes. Yes. So once again, guys, that one is called Churning 9 Patch. It is a 62 by 74. I'm almost positive this is up on the website too at serendipitous.com. It is definitely in the shop. And you'll notice all of Scott's patterns in our shop. We call it the Black Luxury section.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, it is the luxury line of patterns because he's the only designer on the wall that has this real, just rich, yummy, screams money black front of the pattern. So absolutely love it. Okay, another one that I love, and I think this collection Quilting is my voice would be beautiful in this pattern. Anyway, it's called Chilly Wind Chimes. Actually, let me take it out of the plastic while
Or are
he's
you
getting a
talking
sample.
this
Oh,
new
look.
version out of that collection?
Oh, you did it already. I love it. Oh, yeah, nice.
So the
Absolutely.
pattern has two sizes. The pattern has this miniature version.
Yeah, like a baby quilt almost,
Yeah.
or a wall hanging.
And it has the mat for.
Oh, nice. Yes. Um, so it's funny I went from Churn Dash to this because this is a very modern feel.
Yeah.
I love it. Would you say that would be a good quilt in a day pattern?
No, this one probably is not. It's
Really?
not hard. It's not hard, but you've got to be really careful on your 1/4 inch, or your blocks will come out rectangular, not square.
Oh, good tip. Good tip.
The
Sounds
other thing
like,
I'm going to mention on this pattern is you'll notice on the front of my patterns, I don't have one with me. I put if it's back quarter or jelly roll or general
yes,
yardage. This pattern says general yardage. On the back, it says 1/4 yard cuts.
yes.
It has to be 9 by 40. You cannot get this quilt out of fat quarters. You need the length of
Makes
fabric.
sense. Yeah, makes sense. The size on this quilt, guys, is 70 by 84. And like I said, it is called Chilly Wind Chimes.
And what's
Uh,
the mini thing? Just say on the back what the mini is, size
um,
wise.
oh, duh. I wasn't even paying attention. 36 by 43.
Oh, yeah. So nice baby size.
Yeah, definitely nice baby size. And I mean, in regards to the background fabric for the mini, you only need 1 yard. And for the assorted scraps, you've said 1 yard, half yard for binding, and the backing is only a yard and a half. Fabulous. Uh, make a great wall hanging baby. Like this is one of those patterns, Scott, that I feel like you want in your arsenal because you could make it over and over and over.
Oh, yeah. I kind of want to make the big version out of this fabric.
I want you to make that too, and then I want you to ship it to yours truly in Rock Hill.
Now, Lisa knows and she has learned I do not like binding.
I did giggle. Okay, now I didn't see that you serged it.
So I serged my edges of my quilt with fusible thread, and then I just put the binding on, roll it to this back, press with the iron. It's fused. It is held well enough for shows.
I was thinking it wasn't. I didn't see the surgeon to it, serger thread to it. I just thought you hadn't bind it, and I was giggling because I do know that you don't like to bind. Scott, so I told you that I was on Fab Shot Network Schoolhouse all day
Yep.
with like I think there was like 18 or 20 sessions. And one of the sessions, somebody kept talking about fusible thread. And I was like, so
I
this is
know.
a thing. I know Scott has introduced me to it, and I still need to figure it out. But yeah, there you go. Okay,
Use it
so
with your air
next
thread serger. It's a breeze.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna check it out. So the next one up, Scott, if we could, let's do Fallen Stars.
Okay, so the quilt on the cover is out of Maywood Woolies flannel.
Flannel. Okay.
It's just wonderful. But that quilt is at a store in Colorado where I'm going next week to teach.
Oh, got you. Okay, guys.
But
Oh, he's got a butt.
I did a king size version for my bed.
Look at that.
Can you see
And
it at
once
all?
again, that's the fabric, your first fabric collection that you had, correct?
Correct.
I love it. Is there no binding on that one either?
Nope.
Guys, you have just learned a new technique to finish your quilts. Just serge it and call it a day.
That's all I do. I used this on my bed for like 6 months last year. No binding.
Okay, you really are a bachelor. I'm just saying. It's beautiful. I love that. So that is a much bigger block than what's here, correct?
So it's the exact same block. That quilt there is 3x4. Mine is
Oh,
4x4 with a border.
okay, I got you. So see, this doesn't look that large to me.
Oh, they're big blocks.
Oh, I love big blocks. That means you get done quicker. Yes.
And the quilt is
Okay.
actually done out of 2 blocks. So there's one block that's got a big square and just 2 star
Yes,
points. And then the other block
I see it. Yeah,
has 4 star points,
yeah, I see
two
it.
pointing in, 2 pointing out. And when you
Uh,
mix them together,
I love it. Okay, once
keep in
again, guys,
mind,
that is 72 by 96. Sorry that it's reading up backwards for you. But once again, like Scott said at the bottom, it does say jelly roll friendly.
it takes 2 jelly rolls.
Two of the 20 or
No, 2 of the 40s.
two of the four. Okay, every time you say jelly roll again and see if the balloons go up.
Do we have more jelly roll balloons? Nope.
I don't know. Somebody is sending you good juju tonight, Scott. I don't know what it is, but I love it. Okay, so
So it takes 80 strips of fabric.
I do see that now, or 75.
75.
75. So yeah, two traditional full
Yep.
jelly rolls. And I know anybody out there, don't yell at us. We know Moda has the trademark on the word jelly roll, but we're talking 2.5 inch squares, I mean strips. So don't shoot us. But once again, black cover.
And I said the one on the cover is out of Maywood Woolies flannel. The only thing different about doing the flannel versus batik is you have to press your seams open. Otherwise, it pieces just as nicely together.
Oh, makes sense.
Hey, I'm just gonna let you know, Tracy with the Moda is listening.
She's gonna smack my wrist or something.
No, no.
I doubt it. She's fabulous. She would not. She might give me the side eye a little bit. I've been pulling these out so there's not a glare, but I do want to point out, uh, Scott, these are really fabulous. It's glossy paper, feels really nice, high quality. I love all the images throughout. So,
And I give you every pressing direction and every square point.
that's
So
exactly what I was getting ready to say. Pressing directions makes everyone's life easier. So yummy. Once again, guys, this is on the website at sewingdividends.com. It is in our local quilt shop. And guys, for those of you that are not local, but do have a local quilt shop, go and check out and see if they've got some 4th and Main designs. And if they don't, tell them you've seen Scott and he's fabulous and you want them in your local shop.
they need them.
Okay, next up is Birds of a Feather. So Birds of a Feather, while he's getting a sample, guys, it is a 65 by 75. Oh my God, you did it in the new fabric.
Correct. So here it is in the new fabric. And
Wow.
then here is the
Oh, okay. That is a really nice color, because the women are all the time wanting to make something for the guys that don't have roses.
Yep.
That's a good colorway that you did there.
But this would be great for a guy quilt done at the new
That would
collection.
be, yes, that'd be great for anybody. But yeah, it looks amazing. So is that like another table runner type?
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. This one, guys, he has on here fat quarter friendly, and it looks like you need 15 fat quarters. Scott, remind me how many prints is in this collection? I can't remember.
There's 21 prints, but there's about 4 or 5 that are more background like.
Right. So they easily could pull out a background, and then there's still 15 fat quarters to do that.
Correct.
That is fabulous. Okay, so with that being said, Scott's got my back again tonight because I left the shop and forgot to grab a couple of his books. If you have not figured out yet, Scott is like a master of all fabric designer, pattern designer, and author of his own quilting book. So start with each one of those, Scott, and let's talk about it.
So you got to hear some backstory about how I got into fabric designing and got into the books.
Okay.
So it's June of 2020.
Oh,
I think we
Lord.
already like there's nothing going on. And I'm sitting at home doing some stuff. It's a Monday morning because that's our day off work. And my cell phone rings and it's Carolyn Beam with Annie with Quilter's World magazine. And she goes, and she was my editor at Quilt Maker for years. And she goes, I've left Quilter's Quilt Maker and I'm now the executive editor of Quilter's World. You're coming with me. And my first issue is due on Friday. So I want a submission by Friday for the magazine. Okay, Carolyn. I'm like, I'll come up with something. And just besides that, she goes, Danny's Publishing is really well known for their books. And this has now been 6 years you've been in the industry. You need a book. I want a book submission by Monday.
Oh my gosh. Not a pattern, but
No,
a book.
a book based on pre-cuts because that's what I am known for.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, sure, I will come up with something.
Nothing
And
better to do during the lockdown.
correct. Except for the store where I work was still opening full schedule. We were not shut down.
Wow.
So I hang up the phone. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, well, that's a good start to a Monday morning. I'm doing some stuff. My cell phone rings and it's Northcott Fabrics. I'm like, well, that's odd. Pick up the phone. It's Northcott. They say, this gal goes, hi, my name is Karen Gibbs. And I've been stalking you.
Okay.
Okay. She goes, I want your one block of the month for the very first block of the month for Northcott ever. It was my Illusions block of the month. So after some discussion, we come up with the price because I had no clue. She had no clue. I saw the block of the month, hang up the phone. I'm like, well, 2 hours, I've signed a block of the month away, a book and a new magazine. The phone rings about 5 minutes later.
Really?
God, it's Karen again. I thought about it. You need a fabric collection. I'm sending you the contract. We'll talk Monday, and hung up the phone. And that's like
Where's
on
the
my first.
balloons now, Scott? We need the
Yeah, I
balloons
know.
to float on your screen.
It's one of the few times I've had a margarita at 11 o'clock in the morning, but I thought the day deserved it.
Yes.
So in 21, my first book came out, and it is Charming Jelly Roll Quilts. So there's 8 quilts based on jelly rolls. So here's like the jelly roll version, but I
Yes.
also put the math or the miniature out of a charm pack.
Love it. This is actually one of our best-selling books, by the way.
This is a phenomenal book. For $10,
Yes,
you get 16 patterns, 8 large, 8 small, for $10. You
absolutely.
cannot beat the price point.
No, not when you consider a regular pattern nowadays is running like $12
Well,
for one. And then that's why this book is amazing because that is exactly what I tell everybody. I'm like, $9.99 and you get like all of these patterns.
and it's the glossy pages, full color.
Yes. And everybody has jelly rolls sitting at home, right?
Yes. And if you have a new quilter in your life, you've got a grandson, a granddaughter, a niece, a nephew who wants to learn to quilt. Um, I have nieces and nephews who are 4-H age.
Okay.
And living where I do in Nebraska, 4-H is a very big deal. Uncle Scott, can we make a quilt?
Oh.
Sure. This quilt, best day ever.
Uh-huh.
Excellent, excellent first time sewer project.
Awesome. Okay, good to know.
So when I did this with my nieces and with 2 nieces last 2 years ago, I did all the cutting. I don't trust 8 and 10-year-olds with rotary cutters. Uncle Scott did all the cutting. They did all the piecing, the pressing, and they came and helped run the long arm. They
Oh,
placed first place in county and first place in state. Very first quilt ever.
love it. Now, I have to ask, it's funny that that's the quilt you pulled out and it's called Best Day Ever. Was that named after that Monday of amazingness?
Okay, I hate naming quilts. So I sent them for my rough draft of this book said Jelly Roll 1, Jelly Roll 2. I had no clue what the names were until I got the book when it hit newsstands.
That is funny. That is funny.
Because I do not like naming quilts. That is a really tough job.
It is. Except for you did amazing on these ones that go with quilting is my voice.
Well, that was there was a special meaning behind those.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, what was the next book?
So second book came out in 22, Mix and Match Samplers. Besides pre-cut, my other love is sampler quilts.
Yes.
So this is a unique book. It does not sell. It's not one of the best. It's a good seller, but it's not a bestseller. This is designed to use up orphan blocks in your stash.
Yeah.
I don't know a quilter that does not have orphan blocks sitting around. Block of the month they've never finished.
Yeah.
That's prototype blocks. So what this is 8 different settings for 12-inch blocks.
Oh, nice.
Or 12 6-inch blocks. I gave the math for everything in 12-inch and 6-inch.
Perfect.
So you can make a miniature. If for some reason you don't have any spare blocks at your house, I gave 12 block ideas.
Nice. And I will say with those samplers like that or those traditional blocks, they are great skill builders for new quilters.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Now, I did name all the quilts in this book. So this quilt is Barn Quilt Sampler.
Yes. I
You guys have barn quilts in your area?
Yes.
Okay, hold on, I gotta grab the quilt.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. More show and tell. We love it, guys. We love it. I told you tonight was going to be all things Scott. We are really diving in.
Because the back of the quilt is bars with quilt blocks.
Was that a batik?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I love batiks that are unique.
I also have it in
Oh, the red version.
red. I also have it in blue somewhere.
That is funny. So let's see the front of that. Nice. Once again, nice big blocks. So is that helps beginners.
There's a new fabric collection from Northcott that's being shown around the country with barns and barn quilts. That would look amazing with that vocal print down the center.
It would. And
matching colors.
So Scott is talking about this is horrible. I don't have the name of it memorized yet. But Steve, my brother, as you all know, he has a fabric collection that Norcott is now out showing. The reps are out showing the quilt shops to be purchased. And I think that's being delivered in August to the shops. September?
August.
See, Steve chimed in for that one. Steve, what's the name of the collection? Do you know?
I
think it's barn quilts. I think it's very simple. I think it was just barn quilts.
So he designed this fabric collection, and he can't even think of the name of it. But that's what we get for putting him on the spot. But anyway, more about that soon later. Enough, and there may be something special Scott's got working on with that. We'll talk about later. But yes, look at that, all red and white. Oh no, there's some green.
There's some pink. It's pink and brown and red.
Oh, okay. That is really nice.
So now, this block right here is my nemesis.
Why?
I finished this quilt the day before it was supposed to go to print or go to photography. I'm showing it to my friends, and they point out that one of these red corner triangles was pointing in, not pointing out.
I knew you were going to say that. Oh my gosh.
I go to bed, I sleep on it. I'm like, okay, the best option is to hand applique a new half square triangle on top and requilt the lines so that they all look right, because this is going in a book.
Oh my gosh.
So I ship it off. I go to work on the block, on my rough draft of the book, and I go to look at the block in another block right here. Do you see what those greens all point in?
Yes.
That's what it's supposed to be. The one block was right. The other three corners were always wrong.
Oh. Well,
So I don't have it with me at the moment. It's upstairs, but I did a miniature version of one of the quilts out of the 6-inch. That same block is screwed up in that quilt too.
but this is what I'll say about that, Scott. I absolutely love that you're sharing that because, beginner quilters or, advanced beginners, they are so hard on themselves. So to hear someone like yourself that is so accomplished in the quilt world to say, hey, it happens, it makes them feel good. So thank you for showing your human side.
Yeah, I like to laugh at myself. There's good reason. And then my newest book came out right before Houston Quilt Market and Festival.
Yes.
It is Jelly Roll Quilts for All Seasons. It
And
is a
this
jelly
one's real
roll.
popular in the shop too.
It's a jelly roll quilt for every month of the year.
Yes.
So if I do it this way,
I know. Look at the Valentine one. Yeah. The butterflies is fabulous. Now, Scott, that Halloween one, didn't you have that one in the booth, I think?
yeah, I had all these in the booth. They were lining two of the sides.
Okay, yeah, and I think the one that drew my eye initially was the Halloween one because I loved it. Oh yeah, look at that. How fun. And once again, that's all batiks if I remember right.
Yep. One jelly roll background border.
Fabulous.
So
Yeah.
here's my trick. If you have customers or your customers, you're out buying fabric and you go, I love this jelly roll. Picture it as a 40 strip just because it makes life easier.
Right.
Or I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I love it. Buy the jelly roll, buy 3 yards of a border fabric to go with it from that collection.
Okay.
Because if you don't buy it then, it's gonna be hard to find a border
True.
that goes with the jelly roll. Then if there's a background fabric that you really love from that collection, buy 3 yards. If you have 3 yards of background, 3 yards of border, and a 40 strip jelly roll, you could do almost any quilt
Yeah.
in either of these two books or any of my other standalone patterns.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you can worry about the backing later, like,
Correct.
yeah,
And
definitely.
the background, if it's something that just any background would work with it, I don't pick it up right away. I only pick up the background if there's like something specific, like I love that background piece.
Yeah, like the
I always,
one in this jelly roll that we keep talking about that's the
correct,
multicolor. Yes. Yeah, that one would be a must. I'm going to grab at least 3 yards.
correct. So, but if you definitely want to get a border print that goes with the collection when you buy the jelly roll, or you're really going to struggle later on.
Yeah, that's a good hint for sure.
We're going to
That's
take a little tour here quick.
oh cool. But I tell everybody that, Scott, in the shop, and it's funny, they don't want to believe me when I say get it while it's here or it's gone. Oh, look, okay.
So, even though the book is for big quilts, you could take and do 3 blocks and do
Yes.
just a runner. So I'm working through that book right now, and I'm trying to do a table runner, bed runner.
And that's what I was going to say, bed runner. Like these would be perfect as bed runners.
And then have to do my Cindy cabinet. Can you see it?
You're just rubbing it in because I don't have mine yet.
I am.
One day, look at the studio, guys, as he's walking through. Like I said, you'll get to see more of it if you go to his Facebook and watch from last Friday. He has a great sewing studio, but he does have the luxury of being in a home that has this big basement.
Correct.
In Virginia, most of the houses have basements. Here in the Carolinas, we're usually on concrete slabs. It just is what it is. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Scott, I
Yes.
don't know if you have the information with you, but let's do a little sneak peek conversation about 2025.
Okay.
Do
Let me
you
go
have
get.
something?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, guys, we know we just started 2024, but 2025 is going to be fabulous in quilting, and Scott's going to tell you why in just a second. I don't know about you guys, but I just want to take every one of those bolts of fabric that he has back there and put them in my personal stash. Absolutely love it.
So with the January release from Northcott Fabrics, I am debuting a new block of the month called Field and Furrows Sampler.
So yummy.
So here's the bright version and the neutral version.
Absolutely love
It's
it.
a modern take on a row by row sampler. So a lot of times row by row samplers go this direction. I took and ran the rows corner to corner.
Yes, I absolutely love it. Guys, so this block of the month, like he was saying, it is going to be for 2025. It is not on our website yet. Steve will have that up soon. We are going to start pre-selling this block of the month. Hopefully, I'm not even going to say this week because tomorrow's Friday. Steve's about to kill me as it is, but hopefully by next week, we will have this block of the month up. And then me and Scott are talking about some fun potential things.
If you do it through Serendipitous, you'll get to take some class with me, possibly.
That's exactly right. Some special time with the designer. We are trying to figure out the logistics of literally each month doing some classes on each block. And then, like I said, or like Scott said, it's in two colors.
It's just a 6-month block of the month.
Yeah. And, that is great too, to be only 6 months. Now, what is the size of these quilts? I can't remember.
You think I remember that? 63 by 81.
63 by 81. Great size, not too overwhelming.
And
It should
also,
be fabulous.
Are you planning to order the boxed kits that come?
Yeah, I think we're going to do the kits.
Because then you'll get the really cool signature box.
Yeah. Yeah. I already talked to Kim, my rep, and we have those in the making. Like I said, I just did not have a chance to get those over to Steve this week, to have them up on the website for tonight. But hopefully next week they'll be up. And like I said, those are pre-order for 2025. And I don't know about you guys, but with block of the months, it's one of those things that it's always more fun if you're doing it with your friend or multiple friends. Some of the designers will do like a little sew along with theirs. And so that's one of the reasons that Scott and I were talking about these potential classes special at Serendipitous. And so definitely keep your ears and eyes out for that. Steve, is there any questions out there for Scott? Because he or I, neither one can see Facebook comments.
No.
Yeah, I have no clue what's happening on Facebook.
As of right now, you've answered the questions. The comments have just been insane. Everybody is loving everything. Nancy and Rona are planning a road trip for whenever Scott's here. Guys, just so you know, that was the first I'd heard about that too. So I didn't know, so I'm excited.
Well, with that being said, and Steve, don't go anywhere. Scott, is there any information about a retreat that you want to share, or keep our mouth shut about?
Keep our mouth shut on that stuff.
Okay. Well, y'all heard the word retreat, so you never know. Oh my gosh, before we go too. So in the middle of the night, as you all know, I never sleep. So in the middle of the night,
we get emails at all hours.
It is funny. My real estate agents, they're like, they'll send me something late at night and they think they're not going to get an answer until like way late the next day. And they giggle. They're like, I always know the answer to my question is sitting in my inbox because I am literally doing emails at 2:00, 3:00, whatever, in the middle of the night. But anyway, was it last week, Scott, or 2 weeks ago? In the middle of the night, I was thumbing through, and I rarely laugh at anything. My friends tell me that I have a great sense of humor, or I'm witty, but I don't laugh. It takes a lot to make me laugh. But your moose bee quilting, oh my God, in the middle of the night, it made me chuckle out loud. He's going to go get a sample. For those of you that don't follow Scott, follow Scott. You never know what he's doing. Look at this, guys.
Isn't he cute?
He is adorable. But show it so they can see the block. Yes, look at that nice block underneath. So he had this post and he's holding this block up on his Facebook post and it just said Moose Be Quilting. And there was some kind of event, right?
Yeah, we had a retreat. Well, we have a retreat next week in Colorado.
Oh, okay. That's why you're going to Colorado.
Yep. Well, what if I'm doing that in a store shop?
Oh, got you, got you. Anyway, I just loved it, Moose Be Quilting. So I took a screenshot of it, and of course, I didn't text him in the middle of the night because I didn't want him to hate me. So I waited till the next day, and I sent it to him, and I was like, "I just want you to know you made my day with Moose Be Quilting. I'm really upset that in South Carolina we don't have moose, and that's not applicable."
Well, you can make a moose quilt just because you want one.
Well, this is true. This is true. In all my spare time, right?
Right.
I
So
love it.
you want to show them the other quilt that I just finished that you guys think I should do something with?
Yeah. Oh, yes, 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 yes. We're all about show and tell, Scott. So,
Okay. Bear with me. I don't mean to give people motion sickness.
yeah, if you get motion sickness, close your eyes. He's taking us upstairs to see something fabulous. But while he's walking, keep an eye on Scott's social media and stuff because he is always doing really great things, retreats, classes all over the nation.
We're going to do a couple of stops here quick if we've got the time.
We've got all the time in the world for you, Scott.
So get my tripod stand taller here.
Oh yes, I forgot about this.
So I do a lot with Quilters World magazine, and this is a 4-part block of the month that I'm doing with them this year.
There it comes. Now, is that like log cabins? Yes. Oh, it's beautiful.
This is out of a new fabric collection from Vigo Fabrics called Space Dye.
Nice.
And it's like a homespun fabric, but it is super soft.
Is this the one that you're selling kits for, Scott?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell them your website if they want the kit.
fourthandmaindesigns.com.
fourthandmains.com. I'm sure Steve will put it in the links.
fourthandmaindesigns.com. But
Look at that.
the
I
kit
love
does
that
not.
old truck. That picture's amazing.
Isn't that great?
Yes, it is. That's beautiful.
But the pattern's in the magazine. So you got to get all 4 issues of the magazine this year. But the
Yes.
kit will have all the fabric.
Awesome. And you can, like I said, guys, you can get that kit on Scott's website. I like that other quilt that was hanging. Oh, look at this.
This is my Illusions block of the month.
Did you do the quilting on this?
The quilting was done by the amazing Nancy McNally.
Oh, this is some of Nancy's custom work.
She retired, I think, from custom after this quilt.
That would make anybody retire. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Nancy, if you're still watching, I need you to chime in with how long it took you to quilt that. Like, I can't even imagine. Oh, I love your quilt rack over there in the corner.
Yep. My dad built that.
Nice. Kudos, Dad.
And then here's the quilt that you and Steve and everyone's in love with. It's kind of dark in my living room.
Oh no, it's showing up beautiful. Oh my gosh. I never get sick of looking at that. Tell them the name of that and give them a little backstory.
Okay, I'm going to sit here. Hopefully you can. There we go. So now that can you see me in the quilt?
Yes.
So the quilt is called Pieces of Faith. We did a large hymn festival at our church on Sunday based on 7 biblical quilt blocks and the hymns and stories they tell.
I love it.
I can't read what Steve just wrote, but
Steve said that Nancy said it took over 2 weeks to quilt that custom quilt.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, Nancy. Way to go.
So the hymn festival had 7 quilt blocks, and I made 7 miniature quilts, like 30 by 30 based off each block.
Wow.
And at the very end of the festival, for the final piece, we opened up this quilt that incorporates all the quilts, all the blocks into one quilt. So I'll be working on a book or something based on this quilt and the whole festival in the near future.
I love the story behind it. I think it's going to be amazing, especially because it ties the hymns in and reflections. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. What size do you think that is, Scott?
It's about 80 by 80.
Yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. So, Steve, now that you see it, with him standing by it in the living room, go ahead, comment.
I think I like it even better. I loved it to begin with, but yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, and a huge kudos to Nancy on that. Nancy knows I love her already and that she's extremely talented, but that custom quilt job, oh my God, that was amazing.
Let me tell you, when I bought my house, one of the prerequisites in our house hunting for me was that there was a spot to hang that quilt.
I agree. I
That was
agree.
it. Like I just like I've got to have a display spot for this quilt.
Absolutely. Well, I think you have found also a beautiful spot for that hem quilt. It is absolutely gorgeous, Scott. So, that was just last week, right? That got
Yeah.
debuted. And so what was everybody's take on it? I already know, but go ahead and tell
So
everybody.
it was really I really debated if we were gonna hang the quilt before the service, before the concert started, or hang it when we got to that place.
Yeah.
At the very last second, I'm like, okay, we're gonna just wait till the end
Oh.
after we've shown the 7 blocks
Uh-huh.
and we do the final piece, then I will open the quilt and hang it.
Oh, wow.
So I go to start hanging it, and there's 200 people, 200 plus people in the church, and you can hear this murmur of ahs and wows, like ripples. I'm trying to hang it.
Oh, wow.
It was really cool.
That's got to make you feel good
And then
for sure.
on the final piece, it was congregational singing plus the choir plus 5 piece brass plus violinists and a
Wow.
massive organ piece. So, I mean, for the couple of us in the very front of the church, it was just this massive wall of sound.
Wow.
We're all looking at this quilt because the organ and brass are in the back of the church.
Yeah. Wow. You are very accomplished, Scott. I can't even imagine all the time that you've put into your craft of quilting and fabric design and pattern design and book writing. You're absolutely amazing. And I just feel so honored that you have allowed us into your home tonight just to
You're
share
welcome.
a piece of you for sure. Nancy introduced us at Quilt Market, which I'd already heard a lot about you before Houston in October, but I instantly fell in love with you. But your parents was absolutely adorable. And it was so funny. So for however many days I was there, it didn't matter where I was at in the maze. Randomly, your mom would come find me and she would be, honey, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? You staying hydrated? I was like, it was like having a mom at that market. She was,
My parents are wonderful. They travel with me to pretty much every show I do to
uh-huh.
be my to be my free labor.
Oh my God, I love it. Tracy, my moto rep, she said, Scott, will you be at QuiltCon in Raleigh next week?
I'm not going to be. I've got commitments in Colorado already, so I couldn't
Oh,
do quilt.
that's right. That's right.
I'll be AQS Branson, AQS Paducah, AQS Grand Rapids, Houston Quilt Festival, Houston Quilt Market.
And you just done recently, like we said, Road to California, and
Correct.
we talk about Rona being the traveling quilter, but I swear, I feel like you're becoming just as much traveled as her.
I think
Definitely.
I figured I've got like 40,000 miles of road driving to do this year.
When are you going to have time to sew and design?
So I bought a small travel Bernina and rotary cutter and mats and stuff. So I have a whole travel set. So if I'm going to be on the road, I have to make deadlines. I'll pre-cut the quilt, put it in the car, and take it with me.
Now, does anybody else in your family quilt?
My mom quilts.
Okay, so does she help you piece on some of your
No,
samples?
all my stuff that I do for publications for this is 100% Scott.
Wow.
The big sampler I showed at the beginning, the Soaring Voices, I pre-cut that for a kid to work on during last summer during a 3 week set of events. I had a 2 day break where my event fell through. So I had 2 days to kill. So I went to Pieceworks Quilt Shop in Winterset, Iowa. I pieced that entire sampler between 9 and 5 in 2 days.
Oh my gosh. You were on a mission, head down, full force.
Correct.
I love it. I love that you had that opportunity to pop into whatever quilt shop where you're at and get things done. That's kind of how Nancy and I kind of started. She was in the area at Rock Hill and she called and she's like, "Hey, I need to work on a quilt for Annie. Do you have a classroom or somewhere I can just come and cut?" And just so happened the classroom is available. I was like, "Come on." And she spent a day or two with us and it was just so fun to watch, a pattern designer at work. You guys are amazing.
That was a lot of fun. And what was nice is actually their classroom was full, but on the second floor of their building, they had like a private retreat space that holds like maybe 6 people. So I was actually upstairs totally by myself. So it was really nice to just kind of focus in. I'm like, this was better than being home because at home you can get distracted.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, from 9 to 5, I am working.
I love it. Love it. Steve, before we go, do you have any last questions for Scott or any comments?
I have a comment, and actually, the question is kind of for everybody who's watching. Is there anybody else here brave enough to go live on Facebook and walk through their house with their video camera? I can tell you right now, I would never. I would have to play. I would have to plan that months in advance. So with all the observations and the beautiful stuff, we've seen tonight, Scott, I was just impressed. Also, with everything you do, you have time to keep your house looking so amazing.
Thank you. There was some scoop shoveling that happened before last week's Facebook Live. So a couple of the rooms are kind of packed and doors shut.
That works. That works for sure. For sure. Guys, before I forget it, I just want to remind you www.sewindipitous.com. You can go ahead and do your orders for Quilting is My Voice, whether you want the 2.5-inch strips, the yardage. I hate to say it, once it's gone, it's gone. I did talk to Norcott earlier this week, and it is getting skimpy out there for this collection, even though it just got released.
They order so much extra beyond what the order is. And I've been told that, like, if I don't put in some requests here for what I need to make up for some stuff I have at home that I've got planned, they're like, if you wait much longer, you may not get some of the pieces because shops are already reordering.
Exactly. Yeah, that was me. I called and I instantly called Kim, my rep, and she put the order in for me instantly and stuff. But I literally called and I was like to Northcott and I was like, can you just make sure this has been allocated? Because I know it is going fast. And she's like, you're good, you got it. And I was like, okay, shoo, but definitely guys, if you want it, get it while you can get it. Don't forget all the different patterns we talked about. Keep a lookout for the block of the month for 2025 that we will have up soon for pre-order. And then also, Scott, I do know on your website, what is your web address again?
fourthandmaindesigns.com.
There is some patterns on there that Scott does have for sale that you can get off his website, but the majority of his pattern, guys, you can only get in the quilt shop. And Scott, thank you so much as a quilt shop owner that you really respect and try to preserve the local quilt shops and keeping those exclusive for us. I really do appreciate that. That's amazing.
I spent 17 years at the local quilt shop, so it's the spot that I feel very passionate about.
Yeah, absolutely love it. So these are only a small sampling of Scott's patterns. So definitely go in, check your local quilt shop. If they don't have some black label Luxe patterns in there of Scott's, ask them to say, hey, I'm interested in this guy's work, his fabric, his patterns, and give, or email them, give them the link to this video or to his Facebook group so they can really dig in and reach out and get some Scott Flanagan in their life.
Sounds great.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And as always, we appreciate it. And don't forget, serendipitous is where unexpected happiness is truly found in every stitch. Thank you, Scott, so much.
Thanks,
Have a good
man.
night, guys.